What do you want to talk about? I want to talk about the Cleveland 351 motor. Yeah, I had had it in a Bronco one time, and I tell you what, the thing about that motor is
Yeah, you can talk about anything.
oh fuck yeah.
Has no problem whatsoever.
No,
just making shit up. Just
None
making it up.
whatsoever.
Let's get our intro ready. Yeah.
Are we rolling live?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Hey, welcome back to the channel, Birdie Bunch. Today, we're back out at Bent Creek again, working here, doing some work. Dillon's the only one that's going to be banging balls today. Me and Kevin are on the injured reserves list, is what we'll say, but we'll be back at it pretty soon. Dillon had a lesson today with Eric Holcomb, and he is one of the coaches at Jacksonville University.
Yep.
Yeah. So
The assistant coach.
okay, cool. And what kind of things did you work on today? Like
Just
real high level stuff.
Yeah, real high levels.
Yeah.
That unfortunately, it's more of just kind of like a checkup.
Okay.
You know, basically all we did was just maintaining what we've continued to work on.
Yeah.
Just making sure everything's in the right spot, making sure that, you know, my checkups are when I'm on the road, I can still lean on what I consider my checkups, my points of interest, that if
Okay.
things are not great, those points still work to get me back on track. So,
And
it's-
what's give me one that you know like, man, I need to go check that real quick because I'm off just a little bit.
Yeah, so this is going to sound for some of you guys out there that do practice and you do take lessons and you're after it pretty hard. This is going to sound pretty cliche, but it's grip, posture, ball position.
Isn't it crazy how that like always comes up? Like everyone always talks about, oh, go back to the basics, right? The grip, and then they talk
single
about
time.
your posture or your alignment. It's always like something that's fairly simple.
Yeah.
So it's just a foundation.
Yeah,
right?
no, 100%. But the thing about that foundation is you have that to rely on. And then once you kind of check those off the list, if it's something else, then you can make a diagnosis from there. Because then you know your basis, your foundation is all square. So then you can go out and actually put a diagnosis on it.
It's probably too, like when you're going for those checkups, you know, we were talking about this earlier, it's not like you can have Eric everywhere with you.
No, right.
Like I
right.
try to put Kevin in my pocket and like, hey, I need you to diagnose my swing. He's like, I can't fit in there.
Well, yeah. Well, the crazy thing is I told him today. I said, dude, for some reason, when we get together, like I immediately just figure it out, and you haven't even said anything. And I don't figure it out every time. But I said, I'm just gonna use you as an imaginary friend. I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna be on the range.
Yeah.
Hey, man, like what? Yeah, okay. Like I'm just gonna be talking out loud to my imaginary friend Eric.
Did you say the three key words? I found it.
No.
That's going on a shirt, by the way. I found it,
Found
and
it.
if you know, you know.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
we'll say.
Exactly.
So
no, I try to stay away from those because
Okay.
those are my famous last words. When I'm,
yeah, exactly.
I found it.
I
You hit the
found
first tee and you hit a block cut.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Whoa.
Damn.
Well, I thought I found it.
I found it.
I found the block cut.
Yeah.
So, well, good. What do you got in your hands right now?
7-iron.
Okay.
Just still working. You know, just
right.
making sure everything's good to go.
Well, let's
Ball
see a couple, and then
Yeah.
let's go from there, and then we might mix it up a little bit.
Sure.
So when you hit your 7-iron, what's your whole like? What I know we talked last time. It was like 190 or something.
Yeah, it's a comfortable 90.
Okay.
I mean, it's comfortable. I mean,
Comfortable.
if I have to get 200 out of it, let's say, you know, going for a par 5 or something, pins all the way in the back, don't want to go long,
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit 7-iron.
Okay.
Like, because the goal is
Yeah.
to make 4. If you make 3, is a bonus.
I got you.
So stuff like that.
I like that. That actually, the goal is to make 4. You make 3, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's see one.
So kind of talking through our checkups, that kind of stuff we did earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, ball position, I'm a big play everything forward guy. Because I don't have a lot of face rotation, it just makes it easier. I keep everything the same.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I always wondered that because after playing with you and noticed that,
Yeah.
now it makes total sense.
and then just turn, hips first. A little pulley, but
Yeah.
better divot, shallower in the middle on the button, so
You
it's hard to complain.
Yeah, you could hit that over some trees and be fine.
Or hit it around them.
Or hit it around them. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. That was a good point you made, because people obviously they're going to see something. They're going to be like, man, he plays it too far forward. But if you don't have a lot of face rotation, and you're turning the club face with your body, is what you're. essentially doing.
You want? I'm trying to release it, getting through the ball
Yes.
because
Yeah,
the club's going to exit left. the better I turn, the better the club exits,
Yeah,
and the straighter it's going to go.
And you probably, one of your checkpoints, if you're not turning the ball like you are, you're probably not getting through it.
Well, I don't want to turn it at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I want to hit it dead. I want to hit it as straight as I possibly can.
I wish I could hit a ball straight. But I don't have straight in my repertoire when it comes to hitting a
So
golf
like
ball.
this one, the hip should be a little better. This ball should straighten out.
You notice, man. Yeah. And then too, like that divot is like, it's perfectly straight with your drop line where you've got your club dropped at.
So before I hear something in the comments, because I always hear about it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say this now.
Yeah.
My grip is strong, and Eric and I, we talk about grip because it's natural. My hands kind of hang in,
Yeah.
and because I don't have a lot of face rotation, I can get away with a stronger grip, meaning my left hand's a little more on top. Now you still want your V's to match, but everything is going to be a little stronger than what the traditional grip is going to say.
It can't be any stronger than Tommy Two Gloves.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same thing. He
And
doesn't have a lot of
No.
face rotation. He
No.
turns, he makes a nice solid turn and releases it with his
Yeah.
body.
But that's something too, like you and Eric have worked on over the years, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I mean, he liked my grip right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And he just kind of noticed that I didn't have a lot of face rotation, so we just built the foundation off of that.
Yeah.
Just off of, I've been blessed enough to be pretty athletic and make kind of an unorthodox move, but I can repeat that move.
There it is.
So then we build off of that.
There it is. If it's repeatable, why change to a certain point, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, 100%. I mean, you definitely want to. My swing is not the same as it was when I was in college,
I'm sure.
but it's, you just expand and you try to make what you do better.
Hit it well. And real quick before I throw you a little bit of a wrinkle, that thing has got that lead tape has been on there for a minute.
It needs more.
And it looks like it needs a new update.
Yeah,
It's
been on there a while.
Yeah.
But we lengthened them. I mean, you can kind of tell the old. I mean, I've had these irons for a long time.
6.5s, yeah. You did.
Lengthened them
Mhm.
about that much, whatever that is,
Half inch.
and then threw a bunch of lead tape on it.
Yeah.
Just to weigh them down, because
Just weigh them down.
I want to feel the club head wherever it is the whole time.
All right, so this is his 7-iron. He's playing the Apex Pro MBs, thin top line, right? So this is his, probably, it's standard loft, old school standard,
Mm-hmm.
not new modern standard is what they'd say. And then I'm gonna give him my 7-iron. So I'm gonna give him my fun 7-iron. Let's see what he does with this one.
Now, what is that exactly?
So this is the G-Force 7-iron training aid. It's supposed to help with tempo and allowing you to hold, kind of build lag naturally. Obviously, it's real flimsy. So if you're someone that yanks it from the top, it's going to release at the top and you're going to what they call cast, right? So this puts you in a position where you're forced to have really good tempo to hit it. So
Where are the eyes on it? There's no rod. There's no reel.
yeah,
There's no lines.
I was like,
Where is the?
exactly.
I was wondering where he was going with that.
It's a
I'm like,
frame rod.
what do you mean? Now I get it. It takes me a little while sometimes.
Oh my gosh! All right, we'll give her hell.
And the thing is, we just switched him out of his 7, which he hits this 190, so he's gonna be interesting. It's not a bad, dude. It's not a bad shot at all. Not as high.
No,
as your
not as
own
high.
7, and it had this little baby, like a little baby draw to it. Just a little baby draw. What's like in terms of tempo and what was your initial thought?
I mean, you have to really pay attention to the transition. Like you can feel most golf clubs, you're not going to be able to pay attention to where the club. Let me redo this. You know where the club face is the whole time with this thing because it's bending. Like I could feel it even on the practice swing. Like you know if it's open, closed immediately because you have to control it all the way back.
Yeah.
Because
and then you can't.
Yeah, I mean,
You
you
can't
have to
whip it down.
No,
from the
you
top.
can't jerk anything.
It'll reflect.
Yeah,
on you.
yeah. And the transition has to be important. You feel like almost that you have to make a longer pause to get that club to set and then go.
Yeah.
I can tell you I'm not hitting this one, Mackie.
No.
See, that's
That one kept
a little quick in transition, left the club face open.
And the face stayed open. This is kind of a little bit of a feedback, like right away.
Well, you know instantly. I mean, you can feel it.
But that's the point of the club, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you're paying attention, which is what you're trying to do when you practice anyway.
Right.
But like immediately, I could have told you I was going to hit that right because you just know that the club face is open, or at least I do.
Yeah. Well, then you can see it from the flight.
Well, yeah, that too. But let's say you're hitting balls at night,
Yeah.
and like you couldn't see out there. I guarantee you that most people would be like, oh, like
feel right.
that didn't feel good. Like that felt like it went a little right, or it felt like it went a little left.
And then you're like, I didn't find it.
Yeah, no, yeah. See if I can flush one. Ooh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that ball flight came up.
Yeah. Exactly. Now
So
hit
you
yours.
got one okay one,
Now hit
one
yours.
bad one,
Now
and
hit
one
yours
really good
again.
one. Yeah, this would be fun.
Oh, so that's the transition, just right back to the
Yeah.
back to
Yeah,
the regular
my buddy's
club.
Dillon. He's
All right.
DB. Big Son DB. So
Now the tempo should be better than the first couple.
I'm sure. What'd you feel? Where do you feel like you hit that on the face?
Oh, I hit that off the heel.
Yeah. It sounded healing,
Yeah,
right?
interesting.
It sounded healing.
But if I had to guess, it's gonna take me a couple
Swings.
swings to adjust.
I did it the other day between this and a 56, and like the first 356 I hit was skulled,
Yeah.
and they went like 180. Like holy cow. Yeah,
Pulled as well.
we'll pull draw.
Yeah. Not very good, but you at least kind of have I do have an understanding of where the club head is. Even though it's not as whippy as that, I was paying attention and trying to feel where the club face is. So now I'm trying to pay attention and feel where the club head is throughout the entire swing on this go.
Yeah. That was hit.
That was well done.
That was hit really well. It took you 3 swings to get into the rhythm. And if you swung this enough, you know, from a tempo perspective, especially for a newer golfer or somebody who has that habit of, you know, coming over, really slinging it, it'll fix you is what I would say.
Yeah, I would. To be honest with you, like if I had that an entire afternoon, I think I would start small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just make sure I can find the club
Yeah,
face
little-
and then slowly
little-
work my way up. Yeah.
Little.
Because if somebody who doesn't quite understand the golf swing or whatever grabs that, it's going to
Well,
take
the first
them
thing
a
they're
while.
going to do is like grabbing a baseball bat. They're like,
Oh, yeah.
right? Versus,
If they just take it nice and smooth with little pitch shots
yeah.
so they get the understanding of what that thing's actually doing
Yeah.
and then work their way up to make a full swing.
Yeah.
Because then once they get it, and then let's just say a half swing, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like this is way harder than it looks. And they're hitting it at what, 30-40%? It's just like, you just try to get an understanding of what's going on and what that thing's used for.
Yeah, and eventually you'll get to the point where you're swinging, I don't want to say slower, but your tempo's better and you're catching it in the center and you're hitting it further.
Well, yeah, 'cause you're hitting it in the center.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah,
and that's really,
solid.
you know, you hear it like, oh, I got to go down on this, or I got to really hit it hard, and you wind up hitting it on the toe or the heel or something.
Well, that's going to teach you how to hit it hard because you want to hit it hard at the bottom.
Yeah, it's got to be
at the
here.
top. Yep.
Yeah, I think what I saw Rory, he carries this in his bag, and what I saw him doing, he was doing like smooth swings, but he was also doing this and stopping halfway through because he wanted that release right there.
Yeah, late.
So he was working on holding, and then. Yeah.
Well, you want to hear the sound after impact. It's the same thing if you were to take a club and flip it upside down.
Yeah.
You want to hear it. You want to hear it after the ball, which is the same thing. If you hit balls with that, that's going to teach you how to do that without actually flipping a club or taking an alignment rod and trying to hear the sound after impact. That thing's just going to put you there.
And we don't really have any agreements with G-Force. This is actually one of my training clubs, but we just wanted to get Dillon on it too, somebody who's a much better golfer than I am, see what his thoughts are. We actually do have something. We're going to do something today. We're going to play holes 1, 2, and 3, which is a par 5, a par 3, and a par 4. And we're going to play those with Dillon, kind of talk through a couple things. We're going to talk through a couple things while he's standing up on the tee box. See what we can score on those holes, or he can score, I should say. And me and Kevin will just kind of commentate. Oh, that's perfect. So that's what you were talking about. That's how you would start out.
Yeah, and I think if I was warming up with this, I think that's how I would warm up with it.
It's kind of
So that you can feel it. And, I mean, just jumping into that,
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But I mean, like,
This dude just handed me a Shimano or whatever.
yeah, soft medium.
Yeah.
Asked me to do a 7-iron hit on the end of it. But yeah, I think honestly, like, I would just start real basic. See if I could hit them dead straight. I mean, I chunked that, but
Yeah. A little chunky.
a little chunked. But this thing is pretty sweet, man. Like, God, you know what would be great? And I don't know if they make one.
What's that?
A
They
wedge.
do. They have Lag Shot, I believe, has a wedge, a 7-iron, and a driver. I don't know if I know G-Force has a driver. I don't know if they have the
I
wedge.
don't want to get on that thing yet.
Yeah. You're lucky. See, if you were saying, man, I'd like to try it, that thing would have been purchased probably from Amazon. Amazon hit me up. So we would try that out too. I wish I had my launch monitor with me. I would love to know. What do you think that is, about 110?
No, so we shot it earlier. We were working on flighted wedges.
Oh, okay.
And the pitch and wedge from this spot right here was 122 to that dirt mound.
And you just went
So that's probably close to 130.
Yeah, 133, not even 3/4, half swing. But
Well, I mean, I got a little help right here.
yeah,
I got
you
a
did. That's what it's all about. That's why Autoflex works.
G-Force, throw some of these in my gamer irons.
Yeah, exactly. 150.
About the same number. I mean, it rolled out that far.
Thing rolled out to the target.
But like I was saying, like, now that you can, and then I would slowly work my way up so that you have a full, or for me, I can feel where the club head is the entire time.
Yeah, cool.
And then, to be honest with you, if I was out here by myself, I'd probably take my 7-iron and then do the same thing. Because work through it because it's gonna feel much different to me.
That'd be cool.
So that thing's pretty sweet. You took it out, man. I thought you were handing me a fishing pole.
Well, it's always about the mix-up, Dylan. We got to mix it up a little bit.
That's true.
We got to, put you in some uncomfortable situations on the golf course.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Now you gonna do the short
Gonna work
roll?
through it?
I'm gonna try to do the same.
All right, here we go.
The interesting thing is it's flying the same number.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I think it's gonna take me. I'm gonna say over under 3, and I'm gonna probably wash, because that's what the other one was.
Yeah, you were right at 3 when you finally connected. That one you got some speed at the bottom.
Yeah, that was a little better.
And I could hear it. It was so this was so smooth, like you had your normal press and smooth, and then no sound, and then whoosh.
Yep.
That was
And I think that's what that thing's designed for, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, if Dillon says so, and G-Force says so. Again, beautiful shot. Golf clap. Cool.